Another brick fan with a Star Wars Microfighter set. This is Millennium Falcon. This is set 75295, was released in January 2021, has 101 pieces, one minifigure, and cost about $10 when it was released. This is another of many micro-scale Millennium Falcon sets that have been released over the years. In fact, this is the third Microfighter version of the Millennium Falcon that has been released. The other two Microfighter versions were 75030 with Han Solo and 75193, which featured Chewbacca. Let's go ahead and get this built and then take a look at the finished model. This set is nicely done and slightly different than the other two, as you saw with those pictures. First up, we have Han Solo that comes with us, so let's take a quick look at Han Solo here. I think this is a good representation of Han Solo, although the vest that he's wearing seems more black than some of the others that I've seen. His pants, of course, are in that darker blue color. He does have some nice printing there on both the vest with all the pockets. The shirt underneath looks pretty good. And then his signature low-slung blaster belt. He does come with a small blaster pistol there. And you can see his Han Solo hair there with a swept look in the front. The tan arms to match the shirt that he's wearing under the vest. And then a little bit more printing here on the back of the vest. And as you can see, he does have an alternate expression where he's smiling a bit more. These microfighters are built at a kind of small scale, and yet they still have a spot for a minifigure, which to me makes the minifigure is obviously way out of scale for the fighter, but I think a lot of people appreciate getting a minifigure with these sets. As far as the look of this Millennium Falcon, I think they did a really good job. I like the use of these rounded tiles here and the square tiles just to give it a little bit of texture. You've of course got the radar, the signature radar dish. There's a couple of stud shooters up here on the top. Obviously they should have mirrored that on the bottom here, but then it would have made it so it wouldn't actually stand because they didn't put any landing gear, and there's probably not enough room. You know, in this scale I can forgive them having just the one set of what I would call pom-pom lasers, right, with the laser rays that they have there. There's of course a hatch here on the side. They did a good job using some hinged pieces back here to get the shaping right of this engine array here. These three engines that are kind of in the back, and it gives it that look of that one consistent engine in the back, which is very signature to the Millennium Falcon. The shaping is obviously very recognizable as the Millennium Falcon with the kind of the triangular or the sloped area up here in the front and rounded here in the back. Immediately recognizable. There's a printed piece here that represents the canopy. It might have been nice to have seen a clear piece here, over kind of at the end, but they do use a couple of clear pieces down here to represent some lights or other parts of the craft itself. The stud shooters are nice, so it is always good to get an action feature, of course, with one of these sets. They shoot. The harder you press down or the faster you press down on them, the farther they're going to shoot, obviously. So those are a nice little touch to add a little playability to the set. Overall, a really nice look of the Millennium Falcon, and similar, like I said, to some of the others that have been released over the years. As far as value goes, this is a $10 set with just over 100 pieces, so right at that 10 cent per piece that I like to start with. Of course, you get a minifigure as well, and minifigures can run as high as $5. just by themselves. So overall, a very good value here on this set. These Microfighters are a fun little set to put together. They're pretty easy to build, so I think your younger kids, this is designed for 6+, so it's a good little Star Wars collectible for people who just want a small Lego set and something that kids of just about any age could put together. So I hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Star Wars Microfighter. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, help me out and click that like button. Be sure to subscribe to see more of my reviews. I've left a link to my Star Wars review playlist up here on the screen.